If you are average, please do not watch this video, as it will annoy you, anger you, and piss you off, or possibly all three. I'm Anthony David Hawes, and I'm definitely not average. I'm the youngest of three boys, and I'm the only motorcycler in the family. I also gave up drinking when I was 19 years old and haven't drunk for many decades. I have also changed careers 8 times in my life. The reason I changed careers so many times was I never enjoyed the job, didn't enjoy the money, didn't enjoy the time, didn't see myself doing this for the next 30 years. So, where am I at? Where am I going with this? I've been very blessed and privileged that I've seen this gentleman twice in the last few months, Robert Kiyosaki, and what he is famous for is his cash flow quadrant. There it is there. I'm going to unpack it. I'm going to unpack it for you. So if you look at the cash flow quadrant, the left-hand side is employed. The E stands for employed. Underneath it stands for self-employed. That's where most people are in the world at the moment. They're either employed or they're self-employed. Now, the self-employed will also include the professional people. Here's the interesting thing and the numbers about it. Before I get into that, on the right-hand side, the top is business and the bottom is investing. Numbers. These numbers are either going to excite you or scare you, depending on where you're at. Now, on the left-hand side with the employed and the self-employed, in that space, 95% of the people are. Here's the interesting numbers as well. 5% of the money sits on that left-hand side. On the right-hand side, the business and the investment, 5% of the people sit on that side and 95% of the money sits on that side. So how does it work? In the employed and the self-employed, you trade your time for money. If you're employed or you're self-employed, you trade your time for your money. On the business side, there is a system that generates money. And on the investment side, it's money that creates money. So, the next process I want to talk to you about is, I'm also very blessed that I have watched Simon Sinek, and this is his take on the bell curve. Right, so I'm going to unpack it for you. The first 2.5% are the innovators. Now, not all of us are innovators. Those are the big names in the world that we know today. Bill Gates, Sir Richard Branson, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, those kind of people who are innovators, and really we know their names, household names. The next 13.5% are the early adopters in any new technology, any process, any phase. That's me. I'm an early adopter. This, by the way, comes from Simon Sinek's TED Talk, and it's entitled Why, How, and What. Very interesting. I suggest you Google it and watch it. So, first 2.5% are the innovators. Next 13.5% are the early adopters. The next 34% are the early majority. Then you get the late majority and the laggers. Now, we are looking for basically the top 16%. That's why I said if you are average, do not watch this, because the average people do not sit within that top 16%. Those are the people that basically see something, jump on it, and move with it. That's what we're looking for. So, what am I talking about? The interesting thing here is when we go from that 16% into when we have that tipping point, when there's that tipping point from the 16% into the early majority, in our business, those of us who are marketers are going to find that it's going to start raining money. It's going to be pouring money. The only question you need to ask yourself is, how big is your funnel? Do you have a little funnel like this to acquire all that coming income and money and everything that goes with it? Or you're going to have a huge funnel? How big a funnel do you want? Now, what business am I talking about? This is where it gets exciting. For that, I need to ask you 3 simple questions. And the first question is,